So we finally have a nicely overcast day, and I wanted to just do some quick garden updates. So here's my Gertrude Gico rose, and it's kind of bloomed out its first flush and even its second flush really. So I did some pretty bad pruning. Well, I guess I should say some pretty severe pruning on it, and took back a lot of the dead blooms. Looks like I missed a couple, but I can see that there is some new growth happening. Look at that. See? And even though the leaves look like they do have some damage, I don't spray this at all, so it just is what it is. And all of these colored purpley branches, burgundy branches, are all new growth, so that's a good sign. And I eventually did get to finally edging this circle garden, and it made a world of difference. It looks so much cleaner, so much better with this nice crispy edge. This is the Laguna Blue Sky Lobelia. It's looking gorgeous. Next to it is the pink cashmere. Looks like it needs some deadheading, but it's doing well. I've got some of the Mystic Blue Spire Salvia that I put in this year, and I hope that comes back for me next year. But it's starting to, fill in, so that's good. Also have, this is a hydrangea here. I don't see any buds on it, but I did transplant it this year, so I might have forgone some blooms. I did pop a couple of dahlias in here just because I didn't have anywhere else to put them, but it doesn't look like any signs of flowers yet, unfortunately. I don't know what's going on there. I have another pink cashmere here, starting to bloom. Some pink cushion flower, and again that Laguna Blue Sky. So I think I figured out this garden is very boggy, and I don't think a lot survives in the winter, other than the rose and the hydrangea. And then I have these two Illuminati Tower mock oranges. Other than that, I think I'm going to use annuals, so that might be a good solution. Okay, and the other update I wanted to give was these two are my limetta, and they're like the macrophylla or the smooth hydrangeas, and they are looking gorgeous. They have been blooming for weeks and weeks and weeks. So I love this. I don't know why, but they're so underrated, these hydrangeas. I don't know why more people don't have limettas. And I've started working on edging this garden bed. So that's something that I will finish when I have the time and energy and it's not as hot. But yeah, my plan is to edge it nicely, kind of add a layer of compost. This garden slopes down, so it's a little bit tricky. So it's kind of swales into this corner here. And as you can see, I did put some cardboard down to keep the weeds down. And I thought the winter it would just disintegrate, but it didn't. You have to put the compost on top. So yeah, I have got plans to edge it nicely and just tidy it up. But I just wanted to show, these are such a beautiful hydrangea, and more people need to be planting this, because look at that. Just for size comparison, this is my hand, and this is how big the bloom is. And I haven't had to deadhead, nothing. Just a stunner. Also, here is the Miss Sayori hydrangea that's starting to put on its first bloom. So the foliage on that is spectacular. So another highlight right now in the garden is this lily. Look how gorgeous this lily is. Beautiful. It's under a tree, so I don't think it gets enough sun, and that's why it's leaning out towards the sun. So I might have to move that. And I'm not the biggest fan of lilies, but you can't deny that's so eye-catching. And I just gave it a sniff. It smells amazing. I figure, why would you want lilies that don't smell? You want fragrant lilies. As far as I'm concerned, there's no point otherwise. All right, let me show you the next highlight. So excuse the breeze here, but my next highlight is this gorgeous phlox. So this is Glam Girl Phlox. Look at the vibrant color. Isn't that gorgeous? And this is a part sun area. It is stunning, and it attracts so many pollinators. I've seen a hummingbird moth on there, and it's just a real draw for the pollinators. I have it underplanted with this Bobo hydrangea, and you can see Bobo is another winner in the garden. It's got more of a panicle style of bloom. As you can see, more of a cone shape, but Bobo is another one of my favorites. It's gorgeous, gorgeous. And here we have the Visions Astilbe, and Visions Astilbe, I think it's Chinensis Visions red. Even though it said red, it's actually purple, but that is an Astilbe that is definitely a winner. It has more like kind of upright, sturdy blooms. It's kind of on its way to fading out, but the color was very vibrant, and I think that Vision series is my preferred one compared to like kind of the other ones that were more arching with like weaker stems. And just on this side, I've got this hosta, which, look at these blooms. Okay, for all the people that are saying that they're not a fan of hosta blooms, look at that gorgeous lavender hosta blooms, and just backed up by that Visions Astilbe, highlighting that purple. I think it's so beautiful. And this is a little guy that just self-seeded here. Isn't that cute? That little blue flower. I think it might be lobelia. And I got some catmint. I think it's Persian blue, if memory serves, which it often doesn't, but yeah, this corner I'm really happy with. Alright, excuse that garbage truck in the background, but this is the other corner opposite the phlox I just showed you. So I have another stand of phlox here, and then I wanted to show you this is Sweet Autumn Clematis. And last year it was kind of falling over, and this year I decided to put some jute twine, and it's made its way pretty much all the way to the top. So that I consider a win, and that's really exciting to see that that is going all the way up to the second story there, and when it blooms, it's just this beautiful little clusters of 4-petaled white flowers. And actually, even this trellis I think is not sturdy enough, so I'm going to replace that probably next year with a more sturdy one. Alright, so next thing I wanted to show you in my garden is, next highlight is this Viva Paulownia Clematis. And let's just walk over here, and you can see how gorgeous is this clematis. Some of my clematis are kind of weak and they're not very strong. The vines are just like 1 or 2, but you can see this one, it has all of these thick leaves, and it has these gorgeous colored flowers. Look at that. So this is proven winners, Viva Paulownia. Just gorgeous. It is looking like it's maybe iron deficient slightly, so I might probably have to fertilize that because I don't know if I did or not. But that is definitely a beautiful clematis. And my favorite clematis is here. It's called Vagabond, but it's kind of all bloomed out now. So you can see like I've left the seed heads on, which are very interesting in themselves. But once that one kind of fades, this one takes over the show. So it's nice to have those kind of succession clematis blooms. All right, and the last thing I'm going to show you is this clematis here. So this is a 3-sided trellis that I have here, and one of the clematis bloomed early, and now this one is kind of taken over. This is the Sweet Summer Love clematis, and you can see just how prolific these blooms are. So this Sweet Summer Love is also a proven winners type of clematis. You can see it's covered in buds, 4 petals here. It's supposed to be fragrant. I think if you really put your nose in there, you can see there is a scent, but you have to kind of put your nose right in there. So I actually had put 3 clematis on there. So one of them, as I said, I can't remember what kind, but it's bloomed out. Now this one has taken over, and we also have this one peeking out just under there, and it's like, you know, can't compete with the Sweet Summer Love. So I think I'm gonna have to do some rearranging on this one, because it's pretty clear that the Sweet Summer Love is just needs its own trellis, because it is just gorgeous. So if you're looking for a very prolific kind of mid-July blooming clematis that's gonna cover a lot of area, this one is a really good one. It's yeah, I think it's gonna have to be have its own space on this trellis. I'm gonna have to move the other 2 so they can shine on their own. And I had this like old wire rack that I just forgot to take out. I had a cucumber on there last year, so I just forgot to take that out. So it's just the clematis has grown on there, so I've left it. And then I believe this is a weed, but I can't figure out what it is, so I haven't pulled it out yet, but probably need to get on that. All right, so those are just the quick highlights I wanted to show from the garden. Hope you enjoy. Okay, I just have to add this postscript to my garden highlights quick video. This thyme, I put this thyme in as a ground cover, and look how gorgeously it is blooming. It is blooming these beautiful purple flowers, and honestly, it is like just covered in pollinators. The bees love it. You can see a couple of them here. There we go. Really happy with that. When it's blooming, it looks so stunning, and otherwise it's just like kind of a green mat. So really happy with that ground cover, and a great weed suppressant as well.